5 United States lawmakers have introduced a bill to the U.S. Congress seeking to impose sanctions on former governor of Kano State, Rabiu Kwankwaso, the Militia Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, and the Militia Allah Kauta Hore for alleged violations of religious freedom. The bill, Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026, was introduced by Chris Smith, Riley Moore, Brian Mast, and Mario Diaz-Balart, as well as Bill Huzenga. The bill posted on the U.S. Congress website indicated Rabiu Kwankwaso was one of the individuals contributing to what it called systemic religious persecution in Nigeria. If the proposed legislation becomes law, the Departments of State and Treasury will impose sanctions, including a visa ban and asset freeze on those indicted. Let's talk to spokesperson for the New Nigeria People's Party, Ladipo Johnson, for more on this new development. Mr. Johnson, thanks for joining us on the news this hour. The U.S. lawmakers, as you hear, are accusing Rabiu Kwankwaso of contributing to religious persecution. On what basis do you reject that allegation?
Good evening and thanks for having me. Unfortunately, the question should be what is the basis for their reaching the conclusion that they did. I believe that if Nigerians realize the history that is there, that has happened between Representative Riley Moore and Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, then I think they'll understand what is happening. It will be in a better context. Unfortunately, I think not Senator Riley Moore, Representative Riley Moore, the congressman, I remember when Senator Kwankwaso, you will recall a few months back, when President Donald Trump issued the first threat, as it were, to Nigeria. Senator Kwankwaso responded immediately and said that, look, we are a sovereign nation. What we need from the U.S. are not threats, but we need support. This government needs support to be able to do this and that, technology and what have you. And under his X page, on his X page, Representative Riley Moore went there and stated that you who introduced Sharia, through which many people have been killed, or something similar. Now, when we go back in time, Kano State under Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso was not the first to introduce Sharia. That's the first thing. Second, Sharia in itself, do you understand? Does it mean a death sentence to Christians? It doesn't. After all, the US is having good relations with the Saudis and with the Qataris. They received a jet from the Qataris for the president. Those are Sharia states. You cannot just take that and then move to saying that a person who has shown over time that he is one for religious freedom. Senator Kwankwaso lost his re-election in Kano, you recall, to Shekarau, because he was supporting a Christian, President Olusegun Obasanjo. They said it clearly. He lost his re-election. He stood there, fought for a Christian, and has done several things. Even during his time in Kano, he was able to eradicate Boko Haram at the beginning of the insurgency. So there's so many things that I know we cannot discuss on the news.
Mr. Johnson.
But let me just put it in line that we reject what has happened.
I hear you.
We reject, yes.
Does the NNPP accept, to an extent, that Nigeria has a religious freedom crisis? And what would you do differently as a party?
As a party, the Constitution of Nigeria guarantees the freedom of religion. And I know that there's a problem. Some people do not allow others to practice their religion. We have in Kwara State some of the traditional religion, people who practice traditional religion are not allowed to do it. Some say it's a Muslim place. Some Christians reject it. So you see, it goes across board. But we stand against all that has been happening, the lives that have been lost, kidnappings in churches, and I am a Christian. We stand against all that. And we have spoken about it. And it is very, it's ironic that Senator Kwankwaso, who has spoken several times about the porous security architecture that we have under this administration, is the one that is now being targeted.
You look at
I wonder why that is right now.
Yes.
That it is a time that our government just paid for someone to lobby for them in the US, that this is happening. But we will do all that we have to do. As a party, we will write to the US Congress.
I don't think that the lobbying thing is relevant here, because you made reference to that tweet. I saw, hold on for a minute and listen to my point of view now, so that we can agree on the direction of this conversation. I saw the tweet you referenced to earlier as well, and that speaks to the intent within the lawmakers in the US, which may have, transformed into the bill that we're talking about now. But look at the sanctions for a minute. Potential sanctions, visa bans, asset freezes. If these are imposed, do you see any significant damage to Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso ahead of 2027?
No, yes, well.
To his credibility, I mean.
It's not, sorry, sir. Thank you very much. I like this question. What I see is not the effect of a visa ban. This is a man that we have to force to go outside the country. The effect is I begin to wonder why this is happening to an leading opposition figure. This question is very apt. 2027 is in play. And when you now have this coming out, just after one of the one of the major papers released a false narrative that Senator Kwankwaso asked for 20% of the APC, etc., coming with the fact that the governor has just gone, then I begin to wonder that why is it that we're in Kwankwaso season? But we will address it, and we'll address other things. But let me just state that we as a party are saying clearly that he has nothing to do with any repression regarding religious freedom. We don't.
All right.
I'm a Christian, and many of us who surround him that are Christians, and we're fine with it. And you can look at his Representative Riley should do well to investigate what happened in Kano when he was governor.
Mr. Ladipo Johnson, National Publicity Secretary of the NNPP, thank you so much for your insight on the news this hour.
Thank you, sir.